Before we begin, a quick moment. Videos like this take time, research, and care to make. They don't rely on noise or shock, but on understanding what's really changing in our world. If you believe stories like these matter, if you want calm, factual explanations instead of headlines and hype, then supporting this video genuinely helps keep this kind of work alive. If you're watching this and you value serious, well-researched stories like this, consider subscribing. A simple like helps this reach more people, and if something in this video makes you think, leave a comment. I read them all. Now let's begin. This ship is not a warship. It carries no missiles, no guns, no armored bulkheads, no combat radar designed to track incoming threats. It's a civilian vessel built for efficiency, not survival. Its job is simple: move fuel, food, and cargo across the ocean. And today, that job has become dangerous. Because in modern conflict, the ocean's no longer a safe place, even for ships that were never meant to be targets. For decades, global trade depended on one quiet assumption: civilian shipping would be protected, not by firepower, but by rules, international law, economic logic, and the shared understanding that disrupting trade hurts everyone. That assumption shaped how ships were built, crewed, and operated. And now, that assumption is breaking down. Across several regions of the world, civilian vessels are sailing through waters where advanced weapons exist, but defenses do not. And the gap between offense and protection has grown wider every year. This shift did not come from aircraft carriers. It did not come from nuclear submarines. It came from something far smaller: unmanned systems. Low cost, hard to detect, easy to deploy, and increasingly precise. Surface drones in particular have changed the maritime environment in a way navies warned about for years. They ride low in the water, they produce minimal radar signatures, they don't need a crew, and they can be guided remotely or programmed to navigate hundreds of kilometers on their own. Against a modern warship, these systems are dangerous. Against a civilian ship, they are overwhelming. Commercial vessels were never designed for combat. Oil tankers, container ships, bulk carriers. They are massive, slow to maneuver, and predictable. They follow known routes, they broadcast their positions, and they depend on the early warning systems that were designed for weather, not warfare. Most carry no defensive weapons, no electronic countermeasures, no trained security teams. Their crews are engineers, navigators, and logistics professionals, not soldiers. In many cases, by the time a threat is visible from the bridge, there is no time left to react. In recent years, multiple real-world incidents have forced the shipping industry to confront this reality. Civilian vessels operating near conflict zones have been damaged or seized. Ports once considered secure have suspended operations. And video evidence released by governments and independent analysts has confirmed what maritime planners feared. Civilian shipping is now operating inside modern battle spaces, not because companies want to, but because global trade leaves them no choice. These ships are not random targets. They sit at the intersection of economics and strategy. Energy tankers carry oil that funds governments. Cargo ships move supplies that keep industries running. Disrupting them creates pressure far beyond the ocean. Striking a civilian ship doesn't sink a navy, but it raises insurance costs, forces shipping routes to change, slows deliveries, and injects uncertainty into global markets. In modern conflict, disruption is often more effective than destruction. One of the first places this pressure shows up is not at sea. It shows up on land, inside insurance offices. When risk increases, premiums rise. War risk insurance for ships operating near contested waters has climbed sharply. Some shipping companies can no longer afford coverage at all. Others pass the cost down the chain, to manufacturers, to retailers, and eventually to consumers. A single incident at sea can reshape how an entire region is viewed by the global shipping industry. Routes that were once routine become high risk, ports lose traffic, supply chains slow, and the effects spread quietly, far from the headlines. This isn't just about one conflict or one region. More than 80% of global trade moves by sea. Fuel, food, medicine, raw materials. When shipping becomes risky, prices rise. When ports shut down, shortages appear. And when civilian vessels become acceptable targets, the line between war zones and trade routes disappears. That affects every economy connected to the ocean, which means all of them. There are no simple solutions. Arming civilian ships creates legal, safety, and liability problems. Naval escorts are expensive and limited in number. New defensive technologies exist, but deploying them across thousands of commercial vessels takes time, coordination, and political agreement. For now, most shipping companies are doing what they have always done. They adapt. They reroute. They calculate risk. But the environment they are navigating today is fundamentally different from what it was 10 years ago. The ocean used to separate conflicts. Now it connects them. Unmanned systems have erased distance. Economic targets have become strategic targets. And civilian vessels now operate in spaces once dominated by navies. The rules of maritime security still exist, but enforcing them has become harder. Deterrence now depends on intelligence, surveillance, and reaction time, not just treaties and tradition. No aircraft carrier was sunken to create this shift. No formal declaration was made. But quietly and decisively, the character of the ocean changed. Civilian ships still sail every day. They still follow their routes. They still transmit their signals. They still carry the weight of global trade. They just do it now in a world where the sea is no longer neutral and no longer guaranteed to be safe.